Before Raw, a former WWE champion sends a clear message to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch will defend her Women's Intercontinental Championship on WWE Raw. Before she defended her championship, a past champion issued her a clear message. Nikki Bella challenged Becky Lynch on the August 4, 2025 episode of Raw. After the two women talked back and forth, the man attacked the WWE Hall of Famer. After this part, Natalya and Maxine Dupri approached the Women's Intercontinental Champion in the back. Becky offered to defend her championship against Maxine the next week. Natalya went to check on her pal in the ring after Becky won the match, but the man kicked her. This week on Raw, Becky will fight Natalya to keep her championship. Before this encounter, Becky released a video on Instagram showing Natalya getting into her Natty Neidhart character before Triple Mania 33. The Women's Intercontinental Champion told her opponent to bring this version of Natty to their match. Vince Russo said nice things about Becky Lynch's performance on WWE Raw. Becky Lynch defended the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Maxine Dupri on Raw last week. Maxine isn't as experienced as the man, but she did well in the match and was a big danger to Lynch's crown. Vince Russo applauded Becky for her selling in the bout on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw. This made Maxine Dupri look like a real threat. And I want to say this. I have to say this regarding that contest. Becky worked really hard to sell Maxine Dupri, which was cool. I have to say that. She was selling everywhere, Russo claimed. From 23:15 on this week on Raw, it will be intriguing to see if Becky can keep her championship against Natalya. But Seth Rollins and his group, Vision, have taken over the WWE Raw roster. SummerSlam 2025 was a big deal since the Visionary pulled off the ruse of the century, which showed that his injury angle was fake. He used his Money in the Bank briefcase to pay off CM Punk, the new World Heavyweight Champion, ending his reign in less than 5 minutes. Things are going to grow crazier every week, especially now that the Vision is in charge of Monday Night Raw and Seth Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion. In this list, we will make 4 bold predictions about how the Vision faction will do in WWE for the remainder of 2025, since the best in the world returned back to WWE at Survivor Series. War Games 2023, Rollins and Punk have been fighting. Earlier this month, at the biggest party of the summer, the two's antagonism reached its zenith. If Punk and Rollins resolve their dispute at the Survivor Series 2025, where it all started, this high-stakes battle may finally come to a stop by the end of this year. Roman Reigns is not done with Seth Rollins and his bad guys yet. This fight will probably go on for a long time. A lot of people think Rollins and Reigns might fight at WrestleMania 42 next year. At Survivor Series 2025, the OTC might put together his old bloodline to fight the Vision in a War Games match. This would be Rollins' faction's first big loss after facing the unbeatable force of the OG bloodline. This loss could change the way Roman and Seth fight at WrestleMania. Some supporters think that the Visionary could be the World Heavyweight Champion until next year. The Stamford-based promotion might set up a great match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42. So, Rollins could stay the World Heavyweight Champion all year, which would lead to a match at Mania against his Shield brother. Over time, fans have put together clues that suggest Braun Breaker would betray Seth Rollins and the Vision and become a good guy in a surprise turn of events. But this might not happen for a while, at least not this year, since the heel group hasn't even hit its peak yet. Most people think they are only starting to rise to the top, and it will take at least until the end of the year for the WWE Universe to see them show off their skills on Monday Night Raw. But as Monday Night Raw went on, the audience in the arena was full of energy. The lights went down, and the Titantron lit up when Io Sky showed there, ready to fight Stephanie Vaquer, a world-famous star, one-on-one. Both women were anxious to show that they were the best in WWE's women's division. The pace was fast from the first bell. Io kept Stephanie guessing with her rapid attacks and aerial moves, while Vaquer fought back with her crisp technical technique and punishing submissions. The battle kept going back and forth, and neither woman was prepared to give an inch. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. At one point, Io hit Vaquer with a springboard dropkick that sent him falling into the corner. Stephanie then hit back with a hard suplex that shook the ring. As the momentum grew, things fell apart. Naomi's music started playing, and the crowd went wild. Naomi raced down the ramp, her characteristic glow lighting up the stage. She was clearly tired of being ignored. She got into the ring and stared down both women. Naomi kicked Stephanie in the head with a spinning kick that brought her crashing to the canvas before the referee could even respond. The crowd went crazy, not knowing what she was up to. But the shock wasn't over yet. A creepy guitar riff pierced through the noise. It was the theme song for Rhea Ripley. The Judgment Day enforcer stepped outside, and her steely stare cut through the turmoil in the ring. Fans screamed as Rhea slowly walked in, fearing danger. Naomi and Iwao both looked nervous because they didn't know if Rhea was there to help or hurt them. Rhea seized Iwao by the throat and lifted her into the corner with all her strength. Then she turned her attention to Naomi. The two stared at one another in a tense standoff while the crowd chanted, "This is awesome." Naomi didn't back down. She pushed Rhea and yelled at her to fight. But instead of hitting Naomi, Rhea smirked and then hit Stephanie again, putting her down with a powerful riptide in the middle of the ring. As the bell rung wildly, the referee said the match was a no contest. Naomi raised her arms, as if to say she controlled the spotlight. Rhea stood over Stephanie's body, which was lying on the ground. Iwao's Sky rolled out of the ring, plainly angry, and promised to get back at them another day. Naomi and Rhea stood next to each other at the end of the program, but they weren't friends. Instead, they were two women claiming to be the best in Raw's women's division. You could feel the stress. Was this the start of a fight between Naomi and Rhea Ripley, or the commencement of an uncomfortable partnership against everyone who got in their way? The WWE Universe will have to wait for answers, but one thing was clear: Raw's women's division had been shook to its very core on July 2nd. But that night at SummerSlam 2025, the stadium was full of energy. As the Titantron lit up, more than 60,000 spectators cheered for one of the summer's most anticipated tag team matches: Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. It wasn't only about bragging rights, it was also about pride, redemption, and showing who really ran the women's division. Roxanne Perez, the youngest and fastest rising star in WWE, was the first to come out. She walked with confidence, yet her eyes betrayed that she was determined. Raquel Rodriguez, her powerful companion, strolled behind her, flexing her muscles to show everyone why she was one of the best athletes in the business. The crowd clapped wildly for the squad that wasn't expected to win. When Charlotte Flair's theme song came on, the mood changed. The Queen walked down the ramp with her famous gown shining in the lights. She looked so arrogant. She thought she was the rightful leader of the women's division and meant to put the younger stars in their place tonight. Then Alexa Bliss showed up, looking darker and less predictable than ever. She smiled and held her doll lily, then dropped it at ringside like she was conveying a message. As soon as the bell rung, there was anarchy. Roxanne opened against Alexa, showing off her speed with swift counters, dropkicks, and arm drags. The crowd liked how fast she was, but Alexa used her experience to slow her down with hair pulls, insults, and swift attacks. The mood changed when Charlotte came in. She beat Roxanne by slicing her across the breast, and the arena was filled with those famous WLO sounds. Charlotte used her bulk and strength to stop Roxanne every time she fought back. For almost 10 minutes, the match was about survival as Charlotte and Alexa kept Roxanne away from Raquel, stopping her from tagging her. The fans cheered her on, yelling, "Let's go, Roxanne," until she ultimately dodged a spear from Charlotte and jumped across the ring to Raquel. The crowd went wild. Raquel came in like a wrecking ball, clotheslining Charlotte and Alexa, and then she hit a double suplex that shook the ring. She pulled Alexa up high and smashed her with a spinning powerbomb, which almost ended the contest, but Charlotte broke the pin at the last second. The last few minutes were total chaos. Charlotte put Raquel in the figure 8, but Roxanne sprang off the top rope and broke it with a diving splash. Alexa then struck Roxanne with Twisted Bliss, but Raquel pulled her out of the ring. Charlotte tried to use natural selection, but Roxanne rolled her up 1, 2. Charlotte just got out. Raquel powerbombed Alexa into the turnbuckle and then tagged Roxanne to end the match. The youthful star climbed the ropes and struck Charlotte with a flawless pop rocks. Raquel stopped Alexa from getting involved, and the referee counted. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez shocked everyone by winning the night. At SummerSlam, the underdogs beat two of the most famous ladies in WWE history. Roxanne's face lit up with excitement as Raquel put her partner on her shoulders to celebrate their biggest win ever. Charlotte sat outside the ring, furious and glaring at Roxanne. Alexa, on the other hand, laughed in despair, as if the pandemonium was funny. There were seeds of future rivalry, but for now, it was time to celebrate a new era. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez stood tall at the finish of SummerSlam 2025, showing that the women's division belonged not just to the veterans, but also to the future. But Charlotte Flair, Raquel Rodriguez, and Alexa Bliss's shocking return were at the center of the storm that surrounded the July 18, 2025, episode of Friday Night SmackDown. It was one of the most talked-about shows of the summer. Raquel Rodriguez stepped into the ring with confidence at the start of the night. She was determined to show that her powerful style could finally beat the Queen Charlotte Flair. As Raquel walked down the aisle, the crowd cheered with excitement. You could see how determined she was with every step. Charlotte, on the other hand, came in with her typical arrogance, showing off how much better she was than everyone else and making it clear that she wanted to add another win to her already impressive record. The fight was exciting from the first bell. Raquel's strength gave her an early edge. Power slams, corner clotheslines, and a huge kick had Charlotte leave the ring in a hurry. Charlotte, always the strategist, tried to slow things down by kicking Raquel's knee and making her submit in specific ways. Some people in the crowd chanted, "Let's go Raquel," while others applauded "Woo" for Charlotte. The battle took a turn for the worse near the end. When Raquel lifted Charlotte up for the Tajana Bomb, her signature move, the lights in the arena went out and a familiar laugh reverberated through the speakers. When Alexa Bliss showed up at ringside, the fans went wild. Her dark but playful personality was back in full form. It was clear from Charlotte's sneer that this was premeditated. Charlotte pretended to be hurt, which distracted the referee. Alexa then slid into the ring and hit Raquel with a brutal twisted Bliss DDT. The crowd was shocked. Raquel, who was dizzy and barely awake, fell back into Charlotte's arms. Charlotte took advantage of the situation and locked in the figure 8 leg lock, using all of her strength to bridge. Raquel had to tap out. Charlotte Flair acted like she had just won a championship, walking around the ring with a smile and a wicked look on her face as Alexa Bliss stood next to her. They raised their hands together, which made for an unexpected partnership that no one saw coming. Charlotte said in an interview after the bout, "This is what true dominance looks like. There isn't a woman in WWE who can touch us when Alexa is with me." Raquel was assisted to the back, holding her knee, but her eyes were still on fire. She pledged to get back at them and told Charlotte and Alexa that this betrayal would not go unpunished. The WWE Universe was buzzing. Was this the beginning of a deadly new relationship between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss? Could Raquel Rodriguez find a way to beat not only the Queen but also the unpredictable and cutthroat Alexa Bliss? Things just got a lot more crazy on the way to SummerSlam. Hello, beautiful viewers. Welcome to my channel. Hello, I'm Lima. I hope your day is going well. If you appreciate the video, please subscribe to the channel.